Nighttime had fallen, and the world outside was wrapped in darkness. But amid the quiet night, a sound pierced the air. The cries of a baby echoed through the man's house. This man was no ordinary person. He was surrounded by all sorts of strange gadgets, the kind you'd find in a curious inventor's workshop. Perplexed, he couldn't fathom where such a sound could be coming from. Amid the confusion, he reached for his trusty axe that hung on the wall. Maybe a rat had sneaked in, he thought, and he decided to investigate. He was a serious man, a hunter, and he believed that this unexpected sound had a reason behind it. Anyone coming into his domain was not there to tidy up, that much was clear. His mind raced as he contemplated this mystery. Someone had managed to bypass all his clever traps and remain hidden in his home. This was no ordinary intruder or even a regular human. A hunter's ears weren't easily deceived, and he was certain that he could swiftly locate this hidden presence. He knew how to track even the stealthiest of creatures. With his heart pounding, the man dashed into his barn, gripping his axe tightly, but to his bewilderment, the barn was empty. His initial confidence wavered, and he began questioning his own senses. Could it be that the stress of not being able to have a baby had finally taken its toll on his sanity? As his thoughts raced, he noticed something out of place. Nestled in the haystack was a tiny form, a baby. Astonishment washed over him, and without a second thought he scooped up the infant. Happiness surged through him, a feeling he hadn't experienced in a long time. Lost in the joy of the moment, he didn't realize when his wife entered the barn. Inquisitive, she asked her husband what had spurred him to action in the middle of the night. His response was a jumble of excitement and confusion, prompting her to inquire about the bundle he held. His mind whirred as he tried to come up with an explanation. Could it be their own child, a miracle born of their longing? The story unfolds like magic. When the baby had opened its eyes and reached out its tiny hands, a gust of wind had swept in from nowhere. Clouds gathered, rain fell, and a sprinkle of something almost otherworldly touched the parched land. The villagers felt a newfound happiness and burst into song. In this baby they saw a protector, a beacon of mystical power that brought peace to their once troubled village. Yet this man's journey didn't end there. The villagers marvelled at his abilities, branding him a magician. Transported once again to the present, we find ourselves in the company of our young hero. Aryan, a boy with a shock of white hair, has just turned 12. His father, Aryan Vincent, in his 30s, watches his son with a mix of pride and amusement. With the task of tending to the trees complete, Aryan Vincent's heart swells with joy. He seizes the opportunity for a playful twirl, spinning his son around. The young hero, now a little dizzy, queries his father about the secrets of conjuring magic at home. A puzzled expression crosses Vincent's face. Had he inadvertently introduced his son to a book of magic? Before we continue, take a moment to answer the question of the day. What is the best type of magic? Comment down below for a chance to be shouted out. Now back to the recap. Vincent decides to turn the tide, posing his own questions about the nature of magic. Magic, he explains, might mean felling a bear with a single arrow or toppling a tree with one mighty swing of an axe. As father and son continue their stroll along the road, they encounter a group of children. The children, curious and maybe a touch envious, wonder aloud why Aryan spends his days immersed in books instead of joining their adventures. They even cast doubt on Aryan's reading prowess and resemblance to his father, citing his frail appearance and a rumour that he'd been abandoned by his real parents. Vincent, overhearing these remarks, feels a surge of anger. How dare these youngsters belittle his son? But then he gazes at Aryan, his face illuminated by sheer delight. Aryan's words about the possibilities and magic contained within the stories he reads quell Vincent's ire. He reassures his son that they will head to the city together tomorrow and indulge in an abundance of favourite fruits. Amid these exchanges, questions linger in Vincent's mind. Why does he sometimes feel inadequate as a father? He banishes these thoughts, understanding that nothing can alter the truth. Aryan is his flesh and blood. Yet Aryan dreams of a singular goal, mastering magic. Soon, our protagonists find themselves in a cart, journeying toward the town of Tormia Chris. Aryan's heart brims with exhilaration at the sight of the city, its vibrant shop windows, and the lively crowd. There's a sense of novelty and excitement in the air, an atmosphere he's never experienced before. Amid the hustle and bustle, Vincent beckons Aryan to wait for him at Grandpa Martin's store. He confides that he has unfinished business, and instructs his son not to budge from his spot until his return. Vincent had cautioned our hero to avoid the back lanes and aristocrats. Our hero, always obedient to Vincent's advice, found himself in a bustling city. Vincent left on a passing wagon, while our hero stayed behind near the fruit stalls. He took a moment to neatly write down the prices of the fruits, earning his grandfather's praise. Grandpa, struggling with the work alone, expressed gratitude for the company. Our hero was overjoyed to help. Grandpa gazed at him, his eyes filled with admiration. Our hero was indeed clever. However, his cousin Martin had a knack for finding trouble. Curiosity struck our hero, and he asked his grandfather about magic. But Grandpa, mistaking the question for an offer of food, laughed. Undeterred, our hero tried to explain his fascination with magic. He yelled out his intentions, and Grandpa finally realized what our hero was getting at. Gesturing toward a nearby alley, Grandpa revealed that there was a store with plenty of magic books. Grandpa asked if our hero wanted to go, reminding him that it could take a while to go through all the books. Without waiting for permission, our hero dashed toward the store. He was sure he wouldn't be too long. Meanwhile, Grandpa picked up our hero's book and was about to open it. He enjoyed reading and recalled many stories. However, when he opened the book, he only saw scribbles. Taking our hero's words seriously, Grandpa understood that our hero was eager to learn magic. Our hero, excited about exploring the magic books, entered the store, hopeful he could touch and read them. But the saleswoman warned him not to touch anything. He asked if he could at least look at the books. The woman's response was sharp. She declared that such books were not for ordinary people. Curious, she questioned what our hero would do if he left his handprints on the books. Would he actually buy one then? Anxiety gripped our hero. He hadn't realized that these magic books might be very expensive. He asked himself, or did his father get such books? At that moment, a strange man in a hat came into the store. He asked if all the books he had ordered had arrived. The saleswoman asked him if it was the chief butler. She knew it was him, so he asked how he could get them. Our hero was trying to leave through what he had in his hands as quickly as possible, but ironically he could not find anything. Either our hero had already left the store and could not understand whether it was possible to find a book to read at all. Our hero was in the street when he noticed a man carrying books. He asked himself where the man was carrying them, but while our hero was running after this aristocrat, he noticed that he had just thrown them in the trash. There were a lot of books, so our hero understood where his father got all those books from. In their house he was very upset. He looked at the people behind him. He knew they were nobles, but how was he any different from them? Our hero remembered what his father had said, that he should not go out with them. But why did he say that? Our hero was following the women, but a man took him by the shoulders and told him that this was not the place where he could go alone. He said that behind the gate was the territory of aristocrats. He asked where our hero's parents were. Our hero hesitated, but he said that they were not far away. Just then, other people began to come and asked if it was not strange that our hero had gone there at all. Everybody thought that he was not from around here. They even made a hypothesis that our hero was an orphan raised by bandits. They wanted to take him with them, to take him somewhere, but our hero had already vanished. Just then, these watchers began to shout and ask to find our hero. They thought that it was very bad. Our hero had hidden in a flower bed. He always checked if the watchers had gone. He was very frightened. He even noticed that his boot had gone very far away. But while he was bending down to get the boot, he heard a conversation about magic. Our hero was very interested because it was very important to him. He heard someone talking to the principal. He had looked at the walls and realized that this was most likely the school of magic. He had heard that pupils were trying to name the most powerful thing in magic. Knowledge had been named and also efforts had been made, but nothing had been counted. Our hero also wondered what could it be if it was not knowledge or effort. Is it really necessary to become an aristocrat? But then the teacher said that the most important thing in learning magic is the sermon. Everyone wondered what insight was. Many scientists have proved this, but don't people understand that 1 + 1 = 2, even without a complex proof? Because it is a rule that has existed in the world for a very long time. They not only memorize it, but they feel it and fully accept the concept. Magic, as well as this thing, has existed in the world since its beginning, so that is why they can experience it fully with insight. So, their teacher said exactly what our hero had been stuck in his mind for a very long time. He said that clairvoyance is more accurate than knowledge and faster than effort. Our hero, hearing this, thought that this was incredibly genius. Their teacher had also thought, in fact he had even thought, that if they would improve their skills, they could become wizards as well. Our hero, when he heard the words to become a magician, thought, will he get such a chance? But at that moment the teacher talked to our hero because he wanted to know what the child standing behind the wall was thinking. Our hero was very afraid and surprised. He thought, what should he do? Should he run away or respond? After all, now he is really in a slovenly state and no one knows what can happen. But the thought of our hero that if he will not get through this wall now, it seems for sure he will regret his whole life. What will happen next? Find out next time by staying tuned for our future recaps. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more great recaps.